Naruto, Rise of the Darkest Shinobi Force, Episode 21, The Retreating Hyuga Clan. Shikamaru saw this scene, and his face showed a look of collapse. It's over. I actually twisted a person's arm again, and this time the feud is big. Shikamaru muttered desperately. Pinching off the arm of a Hyuga ninja is already a great feud. Now there is a ninja whose arm is twisted off. Basically, it can already be counted as an unending vendetta. In this case, Shikamaru felt like a three-generation Hokage coming over. I'm afraid it won't end well. Maybe it will make Naruto a prison sentence for a few years. Just as Shikamaru muttered desperately, from the Hyuga clan, a man wearing a white robe and his steps were steady, making people feel at ease at a glance. Behind the man, followed by a teenager with long brown hair, tied into small bundles at the end, and a Konoha forehead on his forehead, who looked calm, it was Hinata Ninji. The calm man walked over. Glancing at the two clansmen who fell to the ground and wailing continuously, he glanced at Naruto Uzumaki, who looked cold, and frowned. What happened? So noisy? More than 40 ninjas of the Hyuga clan suddenly had the backbone of their hearts, and Naruto Uzumaki, who pointed angrily, said, Lord Rifen, it's this demon fox boy who injured both of our clansmen. Hearing this, Hinata looked at Naruto, his brows furrowed deeper. It turned out to be Naruto Uzumaki. At the same time, Hinata Ninji, who was behind Hinata, also looked at Naruto. Konoha Fox Demon, waste that doesn't know ninjutsu, evil little ghosts. He had also heard these nicknames of Naruto, but he didn't expect to provoke their Hyuga clan. Hinata Ninji only glanced at Naruto lightly before withdrawing his gaze. For him, Naruto Uzumaki was not enough for him to understand. It's just a waste that can't be ninjutsu. It is impossible to have any intersection with him for the rest of your life. Not to mention offending the Hyuga clan, Naruto Uzumaki is basically wasted. Even if you don't get beaten to death, you will stay in prison for the rest of your life. Not enough for him to bother. However, something happened to Hinata Ninji's surprise. The elite of the Hyuga clan is Shinobi, Hinata. Unexpectedly, he showed a headache look, and his brows were wrinkled, and he could kill a fly. Under the expectant gaze of the ninja of the Hyuga clan, Hinata shook his head and said in a deep voice, Naruto Uzumaki, our eldest lady has not been mistreated. It's just that we, the Hyuga clan, from today onwards, if the clan family has nothing to do, we can't step out of the clan, let alone run outside the village. Please go back. Our eldest lady will go to school tomorrow. What? The ninja of the Hyuga clan who looked expectant around him widened their eyes in disbelief. Reveal an incredible look. That fox demon boy, at the door of their Hyuga clan, broke the arms of the two of their clansmen. It is equivalent to stepping on the face of their Hyuga clan under their feet. How can such a thing be tolerated? If they hadn't opened their eyes, I'm afraid they would have thought that Lord Hyphen was not pretending to be someone else. White eyes. Hinata Ninji's eyes, countless green tendons burst out, and the pupils were white. After glancing at Hinata Ninji dared to confirm that this was the upper shinobi of their clan, not someone else's pretend. Turning his head, Hinata Ninji looked at Naruto in disbelief. What is the skill of this fox demon boy that actually made the elite shinobu Hinata-sama choose to rest in peace? You know, Naruto Uzumaki's actions are already hitting the entire Hyuga clan in the face. In this case, it is unbelievable that it can be forgiven. Detect the incredulous and shocked gazes around you. Hinata rubbed her temples helplessly. What can he do? He was desperate. If it was someone else, he naturally couldn't let it go. But Naruto Uzumaki. People outside called Naruto Uzumaki a fox demon because most of the people in the village got a little news and regarded Naruto as the embodiment of the Nine Tails. But their ninja level is different. Most of their ninjas, who have experienced the Nine Tails Rebellion, know the inside story. Even if you haven't participated in the Nine Tails Rebellion, ninjas of the upper ninja level have also been exposed to the information of the tailed beast. Knowing that in Naruto Uzumaki's body, there are 4 generations of 9-tailed demon fox 9 llamas who have consumed their lives to seal the Hokage. Celebrity Pillar Force again. Let me ask, does he dare to make a move on a person? I'm afraid that their entire Hyuga clan will not dare to make a move on Naruto Uzumaki. You must know that once the human Pillar Force violently leaves, the destructive power is comparable to the tailed beast. 10,000 steps back, the Hyuga clan decided to pursue Naruto to the end. How else can you punish Naruto Uzumaki? Put him in jail? Just kidding. Once Naruto Uzumaki broke out of the Nine Tails in desperation, the first unlucky person was their Hyuga clan. Kill Naruto for a personal Pillar Force? The risk generated by the substitution Pillar Force, but the Nine-Tailed Storm, who will bear it? Who dares to take it? I'm afraid that when the 3 generations of Hokage come over, they will only take it lightly. Instead of making everyone in the village known, it is better to let Naruto Uzumaki go now, and lose a little face. After all, the people present, in addition to the ninjas of their Hyuga family, were only a few teenagers from the major families. When they returned home, their father would also tell them not to spread the word, and this was the end of the matter. As for the 2 ninjas on the ground, they can only be considered unlucky. Hinata thought it was good, but unfortunately Naruto completely ignored the plan, stepped forward, and said coldly, "No abuse of Hinata?" Humph. Naruto snorted coldly, and said with monstrous anger in his eyes, "If you hadn't abused Hinata, you wouldn't have spoken out. Get out of my way." Episode 22. Naruto resembles a 9-tailed demon fox. Hinata's face sank. He had just seen Naruto, and his heart was a little confused. This is why he accidentally said that Hinata was abused. I didn't expect this kid to be able to see it. Shikamaru on the side looked anxious, and came up and said anxiously, Naruto, let's go back first. The other party is the #1 clan in Konoha. It really can't be fighting. What's more, this Kami Shinobu said that Hinata will go to school tomorrow, and it's never too late to ask then. When the 3 generations of Hokage did not come, just with a few of them who have just graduated, they want to attack the first clan of Konoha, and how Shikamaru thinks, there is no 1 in 10,000 viability. Naruto waved his hand, and said with a firm gaze in his icy gaze, I must see Hinata today. If anyone dares to stop me, even if it is a god, I will kill him. 5 years. Meet every day, chat together and exercise together every day. Hinata has long been recognized by Naruto as one of his own women. If Hinata was at Hinata's house and was injured because of training, Naruto might not be so angry. But obviously, this is not the case now. Hinata, it is very likely that he has been abused in some way in the clan. Thinking of this, Naruto was simply furious. Even if he bursts 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, he can't see Hinata. Get out of the way, or I'll kill you. Naruto's icy gaze looked at Hinata, and his pupils showed signs of erection. Hearing Naruto's cold words, Hinata was also a little angry. He is a superior ninja, and he is not treated respectfully somewhere. A good voice persuaded Naruto, not listening or speaking, and still being so rude to him. What if it's a human pillar force? The seal on Naruto's body, but the 4th generation of Hokage wave Feng Shui gate was set up by exhausting his life, and if he wanted to break through, it was not so easy. Thinking of this, Hinata snorted coldly and said, I don't know, the sky is high and the earth is thick. Then I will teach you a lesson first and hand you over to the 3rd generation of Hokage to dispose of. Hearing Hinata's words, dozens of ninjas of the Hyuga clan around couldn't help but show excitement. Hinata-sama is finally going to strike and teach this foxboy a lesson? Seeing this, the corner of Naruto's mouth hooked a cold arc, and he reached out to stop Shikamaru and the others who rushed up. Say that he doesn't know the height of the sky? I don't know what to say. 9 tails, chakra is not enough. Continue. Naruto let out a low roar in his heart. The 9 tails, who was originally holding his chest to watch the play, suddenly showed an excited look on his face when he heard it. It's not enough to be able to burst a tail of chakra. Well, I'll directly lend you the power of the 4 tails and kill that damn white-eyed man for me. I don't see him well. From the body of the 9 tails, a furious chakra emanated and frantically poured into Naruto's stomach. At the same time, the 9 tails stood up on all 4s and roared excitedly. Go, Naruto, kill all these guys who look down on you. Destroy Konoha village, kill the 3 generations of Hokage, and let this village be destroyed. A village like this is not worthy of living in this world at all. Naruto felt the fury in his stomach that almost made him have the feeling of eating a volcano, raised a smile, and thanked the 9 tails. As for what the 9 tails said about destroying Konoha, it's not time yet. The time is not ripe yet. However, it is still possible to destroy a Hinata. At that moment, Naruto opened his eyes. The original azure eyes have strangely turned orange red. The pupils stand up. With the 6 beards at the corners of Naruto's mouth and the yellow clothes he was wearing, he really had a fox demon feeling. This is. Hinata's pupils shrank sharply, looking at Naruto in this state in shock. I don't know why, a fear appeared in his heart, as if what is in front of you is not a person. Instead, he bent down, lowered his head, and stared at his 9-tailed demon fox with orange-red pupils. Naruto tilted his head, a cruel smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. An orange chakra covered the surface of the body, like a hot flame, constantly flowing, followed by the incredulous gazes of many ninjas. Behind Naruto, an orange-red tail appeared, constantly flapping. The chakra on the body is extremely dark and evil, exuding a fury that makes the heart tremble. Shino and Ya are shocked to discover what happened before. It's here again. The parasite, Akamaru, all hid in fear and did not dare to appear outside. Hinata looked at Naruto in horror, taking 2 steps backwards in fear, his shocked body trembling continuously, and roared in disbelief. 9-tailed demon fox. This look is like a miniature version of the 9-tailed demon fox in the Great Chaos Konoha village 13 years ago. Even the breath is exactly the same. Naruto shook his head. He felt the evil aura of the 9 tails had been integrated into his body, but Naruto didn't really care, and the evil chakra made Naruto put on a frightening smile and said, "Good eye, kill you." Episode 23. Naruto in the state of the 2 tails. After Hinata finished speaking in horror about the 9-tailed demon fox, he turned around and was about to escape. Facing the 9-tailed demon fox who has killed countless ninjas, destroyed the small half of Konoha, and fought to the death to seal the wave Feng Shui Gate Uzumaki Joshinai couple. Even if it's just a 1-tailed state, Hinata can't think of fighting at all. Naruto's body was covered with a 9-tailed orange chakra, revealing a cruel smile, and caught up with Hinata in a few steps. The voice contained a hint of cruelty. Can you run? Although the chakra of the 9 tails is not a chakra that belongs to Naruto, it cannot increase Naruto's physical strength. But the chakra of the Nine Tails itself has the ability to enhance the body. The Nine-Tailed chakra, which enhances his physique, plus Naruto's own pirate world physique. The fusion of 2x2 is like adding a handful of dry firewood to the hot flame, and it instantly burns into a fire. The furious chakra seems to have an entity, covering Naruto's hand. It was like the claws of a nine-tailed demon fox appeared, and towards Hinata, he grabbed it with one claw. The powerful power in Naruto's hand, accompanied by the chakra of the nine-tailed demon fox, brought a gust of wind. Hinata was scared into a cold sweat. With this speed and this power, he didn't even dare to take it. It's too windy. Hinata felt that if he allowed this claw to hit his head, he would be shattered by his head in an instant and die on the spot. Glancing at the claws that smashed over, Hinata stepped back nervously. At the same time, a kunai appeared in his hand, and he stabbed at Naruto's claw that smashed over. Zheng. The power transmitted from the tip of Kumu made Hinata's face change greatly. This power that exuded from Ku almost gave him a sense of sight facing the nine-tailed demon fox, and not a human column force. As the chakra on Naruto's body gradually became furious, and with the power like a nine-tailed demon fox, it could almost destroy a large mountain, making Hinata scream, take 2 steps backwards, fall to the ground, and the kunai in his hand was directly knocked away. A monster, simply a monster, can't be a person, this force. Hinata fell to the ground and roared in disbelief. Their Hyuga family, with white eyes, cultivation of the 64 palms of gossip. It can be said that it is a family of physical skills, especially soft fist. With soft overcoming rigidity, you can weaken the power of its fight to the limit. But in the face of Naruto's claw, he, an elite shinobi, was actually beaten back 2 steps, the mouth of the tiger cracked, and the palm of his hand was a piece of blood. This is simply not a power that humans can unleash. Watching Naruto gradually walk into the Hyuga clan, Hinata ignored the blood on his hands and gritted his teeth and stood up from the ground. Is the Nine Tails gone? It's useless. Watch me seal all your chakra. Naruto Uzumaki stormed at the door of their Hyuga family, and it was the first time. If he didn't stop it, the 3 generations of Hokage would definitely not let him go. And once Naruto can't control the chakra of the Nine Tails, he will completely run away, and the consequences will be unimaginable. Thinking of this, Hinata gritted her teeth, stood up, and put on a Tai Chi pose, and a huge gossip map appeared under her feet, and shouted, "Gossip 64 palms." Hinata's palm, dazzling for a moment, quickly slapped on Naruto's body. 1 palm, 6 palms, 12 palms, 36 palms, 64 palms. With Hinata's movements, Hinata was relieved to be distracted. Judging from his white eyes, on Naruto Uzumaki's body, 64 chakra acupuncture tunnels were blocked by him from flowing chakra, and he was no longer able to make and use chakra. In this way, even the chakra of the Nine Tails cannot flow in Naruto's body. Ningxi, arrest this fox demon boy and send it to the 3rd generation of Hokage. Hinata wiped the cold sweat from her head and turned her head to Hinata Ninji and said, he was really scared in his heart, and now his heart is still pounding. You know, once let the Nine Tails run away. It was not Naruto Uzumaki who made them unlucky, but the 3 generations of Hokage and Shimura Danzo. At that time, in order to appease Naruto, if they don't get their Hyuga family badly off, they will be out of luck. Fortunately, he solved Naruto. Thinking of this, Hinata breathed a sigh of relief, hurriedly turned his head, and walked towards the clan. He wants to tell Patriarch Hinata about this as soon as possible, especially Naruto Uzumaki, because of Hinata's violent departure. If you don't get it right, something big is going to happen. Hinata Ninji nodded, his eyes revealed shocked look at Naruto, and then took a deep breath, about to tie Naruto up. However, at this moment, Hinata Ninji's pupils suddenly enlarged, and he roared in shock. Senior, be careful. Hinata turned his head in confusion, and his pupils shrank sharply in an instant. I saw Naruto Uzumaki's back, his 2 tails constantly swinging, and the erect fox pupils stared at him deadly, rushing towards him at an extremely fast speed. Without having time to hesitate, Hinata quickly made the starting gesture of the Bagwazang. Gossip 100. However, it was too late. Naruto in the state of the 2 tails, coupled with Naruto's physique, was no weaker than the state of the original world 4 tails. A cruel smile curled at the corner of his mouth, and Naruto grabbed one of Hinata's right arms. Sign, click, click. In an instant, a crisp cracking sound sounded. Naruto directly broke Hinata's arm into 3 with one claw, and the sound of bones shattering made people shudder. Episode 24. Breaking into the Hyuga clan. Naruto looked indifferently at Hinata, who fell to the ground and kept wailing. The eyes are particularly cold, as if on the ground it was not a person, but a dead thing. After glancing at him indifferently again, Naruto strode towards the Hinata clan. The members of the surrounding Hyuga clan saw this scene. Their eyes widened in shock, and they looked at each other, but no one dared to step forward to stop Naruto. Even Hinata, who is an upper shinobi, is not an opponent. I'm afraid it's not an opponent. Sensing the fearful gazes cast around him, Naruto mockingly hooked the corners of his mouth. It is worthy of the Hyuga family, and the cohesion of the separation is too low. Just such a small threat scared them. Of course, even if they go together, Naruto is not afraid. A group of guys who practice physical arts, it is okay to deal with a ninja with a fragile body, but wanting to deal with him, a person who has fused the physique of the pirate world, is tantamount to a fool's dream. What's more, What Naruto is flowing in his body now is the chakra of the nine-tailed demon fox and the nine llama. Even without using physical skills, with the chakra of the nine tails alone, Naruto can break through the seal of the 64 palms of the Bagua. In this way, the upper shinobi of the Hyuga family is also the middle shinobi level in Naruto's opinion. After walking to the Hyuga clan's residence, Naruto glanced at the same buildings around him and said in his heart, "Nine tails, can you feel it for me? Where is the chakra of the Hyuga clan the strongest?" Most of the buildings of the Hyuga clan are the same, and based on Hinata's description alone, Naruto can't find Hinata at all. But this is not a problem. The nine tails can roughly find out where the chakra is the strongest. In other words, as long as it is a strong person, they all have this ability. Holding his chest, the nine tails said impatiently, "Why bother? You come directly to a tailed beast cannon, and it will all come out when the time comes." He has been in Naruto's body since he was a child, and he naturally knows what happened to Naruto, and he doesn't even have a good impression of Konoha. Now that he has the opportunity, he can't wait for Naruto to directly accept most of his chakra and destroy Konoha village. Naruto chuckled in his heart and shook his head, "No rush." The nine tails snorted depressedly, lay down in the seal, and said, "I really don't know what else you have in mind." 1,000 meters to the northwest is the strongest place in chakra. Naruto thanked in his heart and looked to the northwest. It wasn't the center of the Hyuga clan, it was clearly intentional. If it weren't for the nine tails, he might not have been able to find it. This also made Naruto's heart more and more eager for the domineering nature of the pirate world. With the domineering of sight, it is equivalent to having a humanoid radar. Something like finding someone, as long as you see and smell domineering. It is 100 times stronger than some detective ninjutsu. Over the years, Naruto has also tried to cultivate and seen the domineering look. For example, let Hinata take a stick and attack himself after blindfolding, or be in the midst of a herd of beasts and avoid the attacks of the beasts. But alas, little has been achieved. Naruto knew that his physical fitness was too poor, and he was completely unqualified to learn to see and smell domineering. If you want to cultivate and see the domineering, you still need Naruto's own chakra to increase again. The increase in chakra will also strengthen Naruto's physical fitness. As long as Naruto's physical fitness reaches the level of Luffy in 3 years, probably, he will have the qualifications to master the domineering situation. After a moment of contemplation, Naruto looked at the compound in front of him and narrowed his eyes slightly. It seems that this is where the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, Hinata, lives. Hinata, Naruto muttered slightly, raising his legs and walking towards the Great Luck. At this moment, Naruto paused in his steps, heard footsteps from behind, hooked the corners of his mouth slightly, and turned his head to look at Hinata Ninji, who rushed towards him. Hinata Ninji looked at Naruto with anger in his eyes and said loudly, "Dead heart, I can't let you in." As he spoke, Hinata Ninji waved his palm, and a gossip pattern formed under his feet. Gossip. Go back to heaven. Originally, Naruto thought it was another old-fashioned gossip 64 palm, but he didn't expect that Hinata Ninji's body suddenly spun up. A stream of blue chakra came out through the body, forming a blue oval and instantly spinning. Naruto looked at the blue chakra that wrapped himself and hooked the corners of his mouth. "Reluctantly come to stop me, as a caged bird, are you still willing to show people your singing voice?" The anger in Hinata Ninji's eyes was obviously not directed at him. "I am afraid that because of the caged bird above the head, the fate of the separated family, and the anger that arises from having to protect the Zone family." Hinata Ninji's pupils shrank, not because of Naruto's strength, but because Naruto's words shocked him. Caged bird. The Hyuga clan is divided into clans and families. The Zone family has inherited the blood inheritance limit boundary wide-eye for generations, and the separation of the family needs to sacrifice their lives to protect the Zone family. Those who become separated must engrave a spell mark on their foreheads when the patriarch's son reaches the age of 3. The Zone family can use this spell to destroy the brain nerves of the members of the divided family, thereby controlling the divided family. To lift this spell, the spell can only be lifted until the person dies. And more importantly, this spell can seal the ability of White Eyes. His own life is in the hands of the Zone family at any time, and he tries to ask Hinata Ninji how he is not full of killing intent towards the Zone family. However, because of the caged bird, it can only protect the Zone family. In this way, Hinata Ninji was filled with resentment towards anyone in the Zone family. Hinata Ninji originally thought that he was hiding it well, but he didn't think about it, and was said by Naruto Uzumaki, who met for the first time. The shock in his heart almost made Hinata Ninji almost lose his voice. Episode 25. Hinata, with a headache on her face. Hinata Ninji took a deep breath and gritted her teeth and said, "What are you talking about? I don't understand. This kind of thing, even if he is a genius of the Hyuga clan, he dare not admit it. Otherwise, Patriarch Hinata said that if those old stubborns of the clan heard it, maybe he would be abolished." Seeing Hinata Ninji stop moving, Naruto also withdrew his palm. The strongest ninjutsu of the Hyuga clan is no longer a physical skill. If I have to say it, it should be the same as the 8 doors of Metkai Dunjia to open 7 doors, open 6 doors, and the day tiger and the peacock that can be cast are not much different. It belongs to the energy nature. In the face of the energy nature, Naruto wanted to smash it, and it would take a lot of effort. Now Hyuga Ninji took the initiative to give up. Naturally, it couldn't be better. Naruto turned his head and strode towards the courtyard, saying as if intentionally, as if unintentionally, Hinata Ninja, why do you think the caged bird can't fly freely in the sky? Hinata Ninja's pupils shrank, and his right hand involuntarily rested on the forehead protector. Naruto didn't expect Hinata Ninja to speak, and when the figure was about to disappear, a faint word came over. Because the birdcage is not something that belongs to him. Hinata Ninja was silent for a moment, his teeth clenched, and he clenched his palms. He also wants to break through the caged bird. However, after 4 generations of Hokage, the curse of the Hyuga family has still not been solved. What can he do? The curse of the caged bird, it is not a curse weaker than the Vortex family seal. From a young age, people will be bound to death. There have been countless people who have separated their families before, and they want to get rid of the caged bird, but they have only one end. Urged by the people of the Zong family to cage the bird, he died on the spot. Hinata Ninja's fingers dug deep into the flesh, looking at Naruto's back, his eyes filled with anger. Guy who can only say useless words, next time, don't let me meet you. After speaking, Hinata Ninja clenched his palms and strode towards his home. In the current situation, it is useless for him to stay here. After entering Hinata's house again, Naruto glanced at the people around him, as well as some children. Grabbing a passing subordinate, he asked, "Where is Hinata?" Although Naruto knew that this was Hinata Hayashi's house, the area of this house was not small, and if you searched like a headless fly, I am afraid it would take an hour to find it. The subordinate who passed by saw Naruto with erect fox pupils and orange chakra all over his body, like a fire shadow, and he was frightened. With a look full of fear, he pointed Naruto in a direction. Naruto immediately let go of the subordinate and strode over in the direction that the subordinate was pointing. And in the place that Naruto didn't notice, Hinata was looking at him with a headache on his face. Actually broke out the 9-tailed chakra, or the 2-tailed state. Hinata, is that important to this kid? Hinata shook her head helplessly. He didn't want Hinata and Naruto to have too much intersection. Hinata had a firm attitude before, so he didn't say anything, but right now, Naruto Uzumaki didn't even pass the assessment, and it was obvious that he would be a waste person in the future. Hinata Hayashi simply took advantage of Asuma's scandal and planned to separate Naruto and Hinata completely. He didn't want to marry his daughter to a short-lived ghost. You must know that the human pillar force will become more and more unable to suppress the tailed beast as it ages, and the recognized survival time of human pillar power in the ninja world is about 30 years old. Once you are more than 30 years old and your mental power is weak, there is a great possibility that the tailed beast will take advantage of the void and completely run away. Although the seal in Naruto Uzumaki's body was strong, Hinata Hayashi believed that Naruto Uzumaki would live to be 30 or 40 years old at best. After all, Naruto Uzumaki is not like his mother Uzumaki Shinai, the wife of the Senjutsu pillar, Uzumaki Mito, who understands the seal of the Uzumaki family. Being able to suppress the 9-tailed demon fox and living 30 or 40 years old is already very good. And Hinata, it's because the princess of their Hyuga clan, if there are no accidents, it is not a problem to live to old age. Where could Hinata bear to let Hinata marry Naruto Uzumaki? I was going to use this to break off the connection between Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata. Unexpectedly, Naruto Uzumaki actually hit the door directly. Not only did he break the arms of the 3 ninjas, but he also erupted with a 9-tailed chakra, which simply made Hinata's feet bigger. Facing Naruto in this state, he didn't dare to provoke. For fear of provoking Naruto, he directly burst out a few more tails, and then things would be a big deal. Headache. Hinata rubbed her temples and turned to the Hyuga family ninja behind her and asked, "Hasn't the 3rd generation of Hokage come over yet?" The ninja who was questioned quickly shook his head and said, "Back to patriarch. The 3rd generation of Hokage heard that Naruto Uzumaki broke out of the 9-tailed chakra, and is contacting the people of the ceiling class, and should come over soon." Hinata nodded, looked at Naruto Uzumaki with a headache, and muttered, "I hope the 3rd generation of Hokage can hurry up, otherwise when Naruto Uzumaki sees Hinata, I don't know what kind of trouble to make." Episode 26 is like the deterrent power of the 9 tails. Crossing the trail, Naruto glanced around. The scene in this neighborhood is very different from other places. Other places have more or less vegetation, and here, a piece of cabbage, a piece of corn, a piece of potato. Naruto shook his head helplessly. He told Hinata, "Don't bother with her own food, the girl still grows so many things." Walking through a vegetable field, Naruto saw Hinata's room. It's just that at the door, there are 2 ninjas of the Hyuga clan, firmly guarding outside Hinata's room. Naruto has heard Hinata's voice, but he doesn't know who he is talking to. Walking to the door, Naruto looked at the 2 guards and said in a cold voice, "Get out of the way." The 2 guards at the door glanced at Naruto impatiently, waved their hands and said impatiently, "The patriarch has an order not to let the eldest lady take half a step out of the house before tomorrow, and come back tomorrow if there is anything." Naruto stared coldly at the 2 guards with his erected fox pupils. The body exudes an extremely terrifying deterrent. The bodies of those 2 ninjas froze, as if they were being targeted by some desolate beast, and their bodies trembled involuntarily. "Get out." Naruto's voice was low, revealing a hint of hoarseness, which was almost the same as the voice of the 9 tails. The 2 guards were frightened, and after Naruto's voice fell, they fled into the distance with their buttocks urinating, afraid that if they stayed for another second, they would be swallowed alive by Naruto. Looking at the departing backs of the two guards, Naruto's erected fox pupils gradually calmed down. What he did today had actually disrupted Naruto's plans a little. It made Naruto a little premature, exposed to the sight of the 3 generations of Hokage. However, no problem. Naruto pinched his face, a smile on his face, pushed the door, and walked into Hinata's room. As soon as Naruto entered the door, he heard Hinata talking with his sister Hanabi. Sister, you don't care about that fox demon boy. How much food you have eaten our family in recent years. You have almost eaten our family. Hinata Hanabi looked at Hinata helplessly and said, she didn't even know if the guy named Naruto Uzumaki was human. Every day my sister pushes a big cart of things to see Naruto Uzumaki, and then pushes an empty cart back. One day's food, enough for 50 or 60 people. After 5 years, that guy named Naruto Uzumaki had eaten at least millions of food from their Hyuga family. Hinata, who had a slightly red face, squeezed her hand shyly and said weakly, but, Naruto-kun is hungry. Hinata Hanabi covered her face helplessly. Her sister is not good at this, too soft-hearted. I really don't know what is good about that Uzumaki Naruto, to make your sister care about her so much. Hinata Hanabi said indignantly. When Naruto heard this, a smile rose on his face, and he strode over and said, isn't it good to break into Hinata's house and rescue my royal highness? The sudden sound made Hinata and Hinata Hanabi tremble, and looked at the door in shock. Under the rays of the setting sun, a man bathed in golden light, burning with slightly orange flames, with blonde hair on his head and 2 orange tails swinging on his back, strode in front of Hinata, stretched out his palm and smiled. Little princess, the banquet is waiting for you. Can you go? Hinata looked at Naruto, his face instantly red, and he lowered his head shyly, his fingers on his legs and constantly pinching around. Naruto-kun, why are you here? Hinata's red little face, in a mosquito-like voice, said shyly. Hinata Hanabi on the side raised his head blankly and looked at Naruto. Is this what my sister said about Naruto Uzumaki? Hinata Hanabi looked at Naruto in shock. Long blonde hair, tall posture, smile on his face, standing in the sun, just like a dream Prince Charming. Naruto Uzumaki's appearance was completely different from what she imagined, and there was no hideous and terrifying rumor in the family at all. With a smile on his face, Naruto put his hand in front of Hinata. Go. Hinata nodded weakly, then glanced at Naruto. His face turned even redder, and he shyly reached out and grabbed Naruto's hand. Naruto raised a smile and squeezed Hinata's hand forcefully, holding Hinata in his arms. Then Naruto turned to look at Hinata Hanabi and said, Hinata's sister, do you want to come with me too? Hinata Hanabi heard Naruto's words, and only then reacted, ignoring Naruto's invitation. His eyes widened in shock and asked, Naruto Uzumaki, how did you get in? Didn't we Hyuga clan already not allow outsiders to enter? She remembered her father, 3 orders and 5 orders to let the guards not allow Hinata out. How would let Naruto Uzumaki in? Naruto's hands were clenched into fists, and the powerful chakra burned on his body, and he laughed. This one, of course it came in. What? Hinata Hanabi and Hinata both shouted out in silence, looking at Naruto in shock. It was actually said that it hit Hinata. Is he alone? Episode 27. When your patriarch comes, I will kill me too. Hinata couldn't be shy, raised his head and looked at Naruto nervously and said, Naruto-kun, did you really call in? You must know that although the Hyuga clan is not as exclusive as the Uchiha clan, however, once this kind of thing happened when someone knocked on the door, both the sect family and the split family would be extremely angry. At that time, Naruto may be in danger. Naruto touched Hinata's head, heard footsteps from outside, and raised a smile. Of course, they actually dare to lock you up at home and beat you. How can I not care? Hinata's cheeks were blushing, but Naruto still saw 5 fingerprints on them. Obviously, it is Hinata's father, Hinata's hand. However, Hinata Hayashi is Hinata's father, and Naruto can't kill him. But Naruto didn't want Hinata to stay here either. After all, as long as he met Hinata in the future, he would be blocked by Hinata. Maybe Hinata will be abused in the future, and Naruto has decided to take Hinata with him, lest Hinata be hurt by someone else. Looking at Hinata's worried but nervous expression that couldn't speak, Naruto touched her head slightly and smiled. Don't worry, leave everything to me. Woo. A white mist appeared above Hinata's head, her face was as red as an apple, and she was blushing and unable to speak. Like an ostrich, he hugged Naruto tightly and buried his head in Naruto's arms. Then, Naruto looked at the dumbfounded Hinata Hanabi on the side, gently picked it up with his hand, and put it on his shoulder. Feeling the weight of Hinata Hanabi, as well as his height, Naruto couldn't help but mutter, this is also too small. Can it really become such a beautiful beauty in the future? Hinata Hanabi is a head shorter than Hinata. It's hard to imagine that this little creature will grow into a flower-like beauty like Boruto. Hinata's little face turned red, and she raised her hand in disbelief and said loudly, I'm only 7 years old this year, and when I reach 13, I will definitely be taller than you. Is it? Naruto couldn't help but laugh. What he has is the physique of the pirate world, in that monster world of 7 or 8 meters and more than 10 meters, his height of 1 meter 7 is simply an infant. However, it was also because Naruto deliberately suppressed his body and did not let his body go crazy. Otherwise, if you really grow to a height of 3 or 4 meters, it is not convenient to do anything, and it will be a troublesome thing to have a woman in the future. After all, with his physique, I'm afraid that few women can bear it. Hinata Hanabi wanted to surpass him, at least to grow to 2 meters tall. How could it be with the physique of this world? What do you want so much for? Naruto quickly shook his head. After seeing Hinata, how could he always think of somewhere else? After holding the two women tight, Naruto strode out the door. At this time, this room was already surrounded by a dense group of ninjas. At a glance, there are not to mention 100 or 200 ninjas. Surrounded by a wide-eyed ninja, Naruto had no fear in his heart and glanced at them coldly. The boiling orange-red chakra, the two tails constantly swinging, made those ninjas gasp. Fox boy really turned into a fox demon. A Hyuga family ninja swallowed a mouthful of spit, stepped forward and said loudly, "Fox demon boy, hurry up and put down the two princesses of our Hyuga clan, otherwise you will die today." When the other ninjas heard this, they suppressed the fear in their hearts and stepped forward and said loudly, "This place is already surrounded by us. If you don't want to die, hurry up and put the two young ladies down." "That's right, Fox demon boy, you have to put down our two eldest ladies now. Maybe you can be lenient." There were hundreds of ninjas present, without exception, all of them were members of the Hyuga family. Even if they didn't want to stop Naruto, they couldn't resist the restraints of the caged bird on their heads. You must know that after the Zong family urged, the taste of the caged bird was better than death. Naruto looked at the group of guys impatiently. Is it all a bunch of idiots? Although there are hundreds of ninjas, but these idiots don't look around. Is there a shinobi? Even the upper patients did not dare to stop him, just relying on these middle patients and forbearance. Naruto sneered, ignored the hundreds of ninjas, and strode forward. Stop, stop. When Naruto was about to walk up to those ninjas, finally, someone cowered and stood up, blocking Naruto, and pointed it at Naruto nervously. The orange-red chakra on Naruto's body instantly rose. The evil chakra merged into Naruto's body, and Naruto's body seemed to have undergone countless changes with chakra. The most intuitive impression is the erected fox pupil. Naruto fox pupil looked at the ninja, and the chakra whose body rose up, making Naruto more like a fox demon, grabbed the ninja's neck, lifted it into the air, and said coldly, "Get out of here." A group of guys who don't know the so-called, "I'm going to take Hinata away today. If anyone dares to stop me, even if your patriarch comes, I will kill the same." Episode 28. Hinata was terrified in her heart. Boom. The nine-tailed chakra on Naruto's body was like a tornado counterattacking, overwhelming the ninjas around him. What a terrifying chakra. Is this really that trash fox boy? Don't look over. Shrouded in the evil chakra of the nine tails, the surrounding ninjas were frightened and retreated with fear on their faces. Seeing this, Naruto sneered and threw the member of the Hyuga clan he was holding to the side. Even the nine-tailed chakra in the two-tailed state can't bear it. If he burst out of the four tails, these guys wouldn't be scared. Watching Naruto Uzumaki gradually walk out of the yard holding his two daughters, Hinata became more and more headache. If you want to take Hinata, why take his other daughter with you? Can't Hinata satisfy him yet? Hinata frowned, pondered for a moment, and finally sighed helplessly, and the figure turned and appeared in front of Naruto Uzumaki. "Naruto Uzumaki, put my daughters down. It's not safe in the village lately, you can't take them out." In order to prevent Naruto from erupting again, Hinata's mouth quickly said that he was Hinata's father as if it had been borrowed. Naruto glanced at him coldly, then ignored Hinata and strode outside. If Hinata wasn't Hinata's father, with that slap alone, he would definitely make this guy suffer. Hinata's face rose with a hint of anger. He is also the patriarch of the Hyuga clan. Hinata's father, Naruto Uzumaki, actually ignored him. Even if Naruto is a tailed orc pillar force, he is also the head of the clan. Immediately stepped forward, looked at Naruto with an angry look on his face and said, "If you don't put my daughter down again, don't blame me for being unkind to you." In a two-tailed state, Hinata is confident that Naruto Uzumaki will be suppressed. Naruto looked at him, tilted his neck, and said with a hint of coldness in his eyes, "Uncle, you are dancing on the grave." Boom. From Naruto's body, an orange-red chakra erupted again. As soon as the orange-red chakra covered Naruto's body, there were even signs of a third tail. Shoo! Hinata gasped, and suddenly panicked in her heart. He just wanted to block Naruto. How did this explode directly? Now it's two tails, and then it's three tails. Although I don't know what kind of strength Naruto Uzumaki in the three-tailed state has, but just with the Uzumaki Naruto in this state having this kind of strength, will the three-tailed state directly double? The main thing is whether there will be another explosion after 3 tails, 4 tails, 5 tails? For a while, Hinata was in a big mess, and he didn't know if he should stop Naruto. "Get out of here." Naruto walked up to Hinata, who stared at him coldly. The cold tone made Hinata shiver, and involuntarily gave way. Just at this moment, an old man wearing a cloak and a Hokage cloak walked over and said in a complaining tone, "Hayashi, you really are. People want to party, what are you an adult blocking?" 3 generations of Hokage-sama. The ninjas of the 4-week Hinata family shouted out in surprise. "I didn't expect to shock the 3rd generation of Hokage-sama, so that the fox demon boy is dead." All the ninjas looked at Naruto gloating. "Let you go crazy, now Naruto-sama is here. See if you are not dead yet." The corner of Hinata's mouth twitched. He knew what the 3 generations of Hokage meant. But in this way, the face of their Hyuga family will be lost. However, after Hinata, Hayashi glanced at Naruto. After a moment of contemplation, he sighed silently. The orphan of the 4th generation of Hokage. That's it, he will be generous once. At that moment, Hinata respectfully said to the ape flying sun. The 3rd generation of Hokage-sama is right. It is indeed me who is stingy. Then let Naruto Uzumaki take Hinata to the banquet. What? The members of the Hyuga family, who were full of expectation, shouted out one after another. Did you actually let this kid take away the 2 young ladies of their family? Sarutobi nodded in satisfaction despite the incredulous gazes around him, and then saw Naruto and said, Naruto, you go to play first this time, and you will come back later to apologize to the Hyuga family. The 3 generations of Hokage were constantly thinking in their hearts as they looked at Naruto. He also didn't expect that Naruto would break out the 9-tailed chakra for a woman, and it was 2 tails at a time. Of course, what shocked Sarutobi the most was that Naruto Uzumaki could control himself in the state of the 2 tails and not run away. It's nothing short of miraculous. To know how evil the tailed beast chakra is, few people in the 5 major ninja villages can withstand the tailed beast chakra. Naruto carried it, and it was still in the state of the 2nd tail, which simply made Sarutobi ecstatic. In this way, how could he choose to punish Naruto Uzumaki at this time? Seeing Naruto nodded, Hinata, who strode out of Hinata's house with his 2 daughters, rubbed his temples with a headache on his face. Although Naruto is an orphan of the 4th generation of Hokage, Hinata Hayashi is even more fearful. It's the 9 tails who don't know how far it can erupt. Episode 29. Naruto Uzumaki is not that simple. Looking at Naruto who gradually led them out of Hinata's gate, Hinata's small eyes contained great curiosity and surprise. Her stodgy father actually agreed to Naruto Uzumaki forcibly taking her and her sister out of the Hyuga clan, and still under the gaze of hundreds of ninjas of the Hyuga family. Even if there are 3 generations of Hokage to intercede, his father will not be able to tolerate the humiliating Uzumaki Naruto of the Hyuga clan to leave, because then the face of the Hyuga clan will be lost. Hinata Hanabi couldn't figure it out about this. However, Naruto was not interested in giving her an answer, and after walking out of the gate of the Hyuga clan, Naruto looked at Shikamaru Dinji and the others with a worried face, the corners of his mouth hooked, and said with a smile, Brothers, Hinata was brought out by me, let's have a banquet. Shikamaru Dinji saw Naruto, and the 2 girls Naruto was holding, and his face suddenly became extremely surprised. Naruto, you really brought Hinata out, Shikamaru said in surprise. No matter how he imagined, he couldn't imagine that it would be such an ending. Naruto raised a smile on his face and placed Hinata and Hanabi on the ground. The burning 9-tailed chakra on his body gradually weakened, and the 2 tails behind his back gradually retracted. Of course, who do you think I am? Naruto said with a smile. On the one hand, the Hyuga clan, on the other hand, the 9 tails who are about to erupt. And I think with my toes that I know what the ape flying sun chop will choose. Alright, guys, let's go. Naruto greeted with a raised smile. What happened today really excited him. Not only did he teach the Hyuga clan a lesson, but he also gave the 3 generations of Hokage a warning, and he had to go to get the Book of Seals at night. Naruto couldn't wait to see how many types of ninjutsu that could be used to fuse with that Book of Seals. Shikamaru, Dinji, Sasuke, Shino, Ino, Sakura, with a smile on their faces, followed Naruto Uzumaki. And at this time, the ape flying sun chop also walked out from the Hinata clan and nodded with satisfaction. Although Naruto broke out the chakra of the 9 tails, it was also because of his companions, which is a good thing. With companions, there is a bond, even if Naruto was often beaten and scolded before. As long as he has a bond, he will not choose to betray Konoha. At this moment, a doubt rose in Sarutobi Hinata's heart, and he turned his head to look at Hinata and asked, By the way, Hinata, why did your Hyuga family suddenly choose to close? If Hinata Hayashi didn't choose to close the Hyuga family today, Naruto wouldn't be able to knock on the door, let alone break out the 9-tailed chakra. Hearing the words of the 3 generations of Hokage, Hinata's face suddenly showed a hint of embarrassment, and said with a dry laugh a few times, 3 generations of Hokage-sama, I mainly feel that the strength of the Hyuga family is too weak, and I plan to strengthen it a little and let them collect their hearts at home. The puzzlement on the face of the 3 generations of Hokage was even heavier. The strength of the Hyuga family is weak? As the number 1 clan in Konoha, his strength is second only to Konoha, which is still weak. However, Ape Fei-ri did not ask, and made up his mind that he would investigate it after going back. Thinking of this, Sarutobi took a puff of his cigarette, patted Hinata's shoulder and said, It's hard for you this time, I'll teach you Naruto a good lesson when I go back. Hinata clenched her palms without a trace, and then nodded. Looking at the figure of the 3 generations of Hokage gradually leaving, Hinata snorted coldly in his heart. Teaching Naruto Uzumaki, at best, is just letting Naruto mend the Hokage rock and take it lightly. After leaving the Hyuga family, Naruto thought of something, let Hinata and the others go to the barbecue first, and he returned to the Hyuga family. Looking at Hinata Hayashi with a gloomy face at the door, Naruto went over and patted him on the shoulder and said, Don't say that, uncle, I was beaten so badly at your house, don't you give some money as comfort? Hinata Hayashi, who was lost in thought, was so frightened that he looked at Naruto Uzumaki with the corners of his mouth twitching. It looks like you haven't been hurt just now. After hearing the wailing sound from the courtyard, Hinata, Ashi's face darkened, and said coldly, the clan who injured me doesn't care about you, and you still want to come and ask for money? Naruto put his arm around Hinata's shoulders, and an orange-red chakra rose again on his body, and said with a smile, Uncle, Hinata is injured, I don't even plan to kill you, it's nothing to give some money. First of all, I don't want less than 3 million. Naruto reminded again. Hinata Hayashi was hugged by Naruto, and her heart shivered. Stiffly turned his head to look at Naruto Uzumaki. He actually said that he would kill him. Is this really a 13-year-old teenager? You must know that although Naruto broke the arms of 3 other clansmen before, Hinata Hayashi only thought that it was Naruto Uzumaki who was angry for a while, and he didn't know the seriousness of the attack. But Naruto said that he wanted to kill him, which was equivalent to Uzumaki Naruto really having killing intent in his heart. Sensing the chakra on Naruto Uzumaki's body, and the sense of danger that was absent, Hinata gasped, Naruto Uzumaki. Not simple. At least it wasn't as simple as he and the 3 generations of Hokage thought. I know, I'll go get 5 million, you let me go first. Hinata said in a dry voice. He now has a deep fear of Naruto, not only because of the 9-tailed chakra, but also because of the danger that came out of Naruto's body. After Naruto let go of his arm, Hinata quickly ordered the clan to bring 5 million. After getting 5 million, Naruto hooked the corner of his mouth and strode towards the market of Konoha village. He is not interested in eating roasted bear paws. It is better to get some beef and mutton. Looking at Naruto's distant back, Hinata wiped the cold sweat on his head. Just now, he thought he was really going to die. Episode 30. Take the little and cute Hinata away. After a purchase, Naruto carried hundreds of pounds of food and walked towards the forest with a smile on his face. Before he reached the forest, Naruto heard a miserable voice coming from the forest. Ding ci, why is this bear meat so fishy? Shikamaru said with a painful look as he held a bunch of roast bear meat. He took a mouthful of anticipation and almost vomited him. Don't even eat Akamaru, bear meat is so terrible. He looked helplessly at the roasted pile of bear meat. Ding ci spread his hands helplessly and said, I just heard from my family that bear meat is delicious, and this is also my first time making bear meat. Obviously, he has used a lot of chili peppers, but there is no way to suppress the fishy smell of bear meat. Naruto walked over with a smile on his face and said, Stupid you, where is bear meat used for roasting? In the past life, most of the bear meat was boiled in water to remove the fishy, and after adding various condiments, it would look delicious. And Ding ci, after cutting the bear meat, directly put it on the fire and roast, although after zila and oil, a lot of condiments such as chili noodles were added, but the taste could not be integrated at all. Naruto. The teenagers turned their heads in surprise and looked at Naruto. Dingji looked at the large pile of food Naruto was holding with his eyes glowing and swallowed a mouthful of spit and said, Naruto, is this all for our banquet? Naruto smiled and held out his thumb and said, Of course, but you have to make it delicious. Leave it to me. Ding ci patted his chest and said firmly, with so much delicacies, if he ruined it, he himself would not forgive himself. Naruto nodded, handed the food to Dingji, and then glanced at the people around him, with a puzzled look on his face, and asked, What about Sasuke? Before Sasuke was willing to help him deal with the people of the Hyuga clan, Naruto was going to treat him to some barbecue? As a result, now everyone is gone. Tooth touched Akamaru, who was a little fried, and said after thinking about it, Sasuke seems to have recited a good exercise after you came out of the Hyuga family, and then left. Oh, Naruto nodded thoughtfully. Stimulated by his strength, did Uchiha force King to decide to work hard? Unfortunately, the physical qualities of the two of them are very different, and even if Sasuke works hard all his life, he may not be able to match his physical fitness. Forget it, don't think about it, find an opportunity to let Kakashi teach him Rache. Naruto shook his head, stopped thinking about Sasuke, raised a smile on his face, and strode over to the barbecue. He took 2 slices of grilled mushrooms and handed them to Hinata and Hinata Hanabi with a smile on his face. Try it, this mushroom is very delicious. Hinata took the grilled mushroom with a blushing face and weakly thanked him. Hinata Hanabi also muttered and took the roasted mushrooms. The sun is setting when the sun goes down completely. The forest is filled with the aroma of barbecue. Everyone had a round stomach and lay lazily on the grass. Shikamaru lay lazily on the ground, waved his hand, and asked, Naruto, do you know why the Hyuga clan didn't pursue it today? As soon as these words came out, several other young girls who ate round and did not want to move suddenly pricked up their ears. They also wanted to know what kind of ability Naruto had that would make the first clan of Konoha choose not to pursue it. You know, Naruto wasted the arms of 3 Hyuga ninjas, which is equivalent to making them unkind, which is tantamount to killing his father. Naruto lay on Hinata's lap with a smile on his face, touched his chin, and said with a deep groan, Maybe the old man is very satisfied with my son-in-law. Ahem. Shikamaru, who listened carefully, coughed violently and almost choked to death by his own spit. The other teenagers and girls were even more speechless. Will Hyuga Hayashi marry her daughter to you first? Not to mention, that is, you destroyed the arms of 3 ninjas. This kind of hatred, that is, you are really the son-in-law of the Hyuga clan, I am afraid that you have to be investigated to the end, right? Shikamaru grunted a few mouthfuls of river water before slowing down, lying speechless on the grass. After hearing Naruto's words, he didn't bother to ask. According to his understanding, it is estimated that Naruto does not know. Otherwise Naruto still needs to grab something to eat with others all day. Ino struggled to get up from the ground, touched his round belly and said, "It's not early, I'll go home first, see you tomorrow." Several other teenagers glanced at the sky, and indeed, the sky had gradually darkened, and they all took their leave. Naruto waved his hand lazily and said goodbye to them. Hinata's red face, looking at Naruto lying on his lap, pushed him weakly, and whispered, "Naruto-kun, it's not early, I should go home too." "Don't." Naruto rolled over, hugged Hinata's leg, raised his head, looked at Hinata, and said seriously, "From today onwards, you will live with me. Otherwise I am afraid that you will be bullied when you return to the Hyuga clan." Buzz. Hinata's face instantly turned red like an apple, and white smoke came out of his head like a train whistle. "Naruto-kun, we're too young, live together, that kind of thing." Hinata waved his hands hurriedly, but in the end, he made his face red, and he fainted in Naruto's arms with a plop. The corners of Naruto's mouth hooked. He held Hinata in his arms, looked at Hinata Hanabi on the side, and said, "You just go back by yourself, I won't send you."